Friends, I also see our partnership in a larger global framework. The scale and speed of change in the world is unprecedented. There are fundamental shifts in the nature of politics and power. Free trade is under pressure. There are growing global divisions, disputes, and disparities. The world is faced with challenges of climate change, food, health, and energy security. Terrorism remains a pressing threat. Colonial rules of the past may have ended, but their shadows linger in new forms. There are new challenges in space and cybersecurity. Artificial intelligence is unlocking the new opportunities as well as risk. The old institutions are struggling to deliver peace and progress. At the same time, the global south is rising. They wish to see a new and fairer world order. When the United Nations turned 75, there was great hope across the developing world. A hope that long pending reforms would be realized, that their voices would finally be heard. But that hope has turned into disappointment. The voice of the developing world remains on the margins. India has always tried to bridge this gap. For India, Mahasagar, mutual and holistic advancement for society and growth across regions, is the guiding vision for the global south. Whenever we got the opportunity, we have given voice to the global south. During our G20 presidency, we brought the concerns of the global south to the center of global decision making. During the pandemic, while caring for our 1.4 billion people, India provided vaccine and medicines to over 150 countries. In times of disaster, we have responded swiftly with aid, relief, and solidarity. Our development partnerships are demand-driven, respectful, and without conditions. Distinguished members, it is time for us to work together to give the global south its rightful seat at the right table. When I look at the golden words of the Speaker's chair from the people of India to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, I feel a deep sense of emotion. That chair is not just a piece of furniture, but a powerful symbol of the friendship and trust between our two nations. The words expresses the bond that one democracy feels for another. आप सभी जानते हैं, भारतीयों के लिए डेमोक्रेसी सिर्फ एक पॉलिटिकल मॉडल भर नहीं है, हमारे लिए ये वे ऑफ लाइफ है, हमारी हजारों वर्षों की महान विरासत है। इस संसद में भी कई साथी ऐसे हैं जिनके पूर्वज बिहार से हैं, वो बिहार जो महाजनपदों यानी एंशिएंट रिपब्लिक्स की भूमि है। There is a natural warmth in the connection between our two countries. I must say, Indians are among the most passionate fans of the West Indies cricket team. We cheer for them with all our heart, except when they are playing against India. The relationship between our two countries is based on the foundation of centuries-old bonds. 180 years ago, the first Indians arrived on this land after a long and hard journey. Oceans away, the Indian beats blended beautifully with the Caribbean rhythm. Here, Bhojpuri found harmony with Creole. Dalpuri met doubles, and tabla met the steel pan. Today, the people of Indian origin are proud bearers of the red, black, and white flag. From politics to poetry, cricket to commerce, calypso to chutney, they contribute to every field. I'm delighted to so many women members in this house. Respect for women is deeply rooted in Indian culture. One of our important holy texts, the Skanda Purana, says, Dasaputro sama kanya, Dasaputran pravardhayan, Yat phalam labate mratyam, Tat labhyam kanya ekaya. It means one daughter brings as much happiness as 10 sons. We are strengthening the hands of women to build a modern India. From space to sports, startups to science, education to enterprise, aviation to armed forces, they are leading India to a new future in various domains. Like you, we have are women who rose from humble beginnings to become our president. Two years ago, the Indian Parliament took a historic step, which decided to ensure a 33% reservation for women in parliament and state assemblies. This assurance that is the coming generations, more and more women will decide the destiny and direction of the nation. Women leaders are also thriving at the grassroots in India. Around 1.5 million elected women power local governor institutions. We are in an era of women-led development. Both our nations rose from the shadows of colonial rule to write our own stories with courage as our ink and democracy as our pen. Today, both our nations stand as proud democracies and pillars of strength in the modern world. A couple of months ago, you celebrated the Festival of Democracy by participating in elections. I congratulate the people of this country for their wisdom and vision for peace, stability, and prosperity. I also congratulate the newly elected members of this august House. I extend special greetings to Prime Minister Kamalaji for forming the government once again.